So today I'm here with Hanif Manji, who is the chair of the World Partnership Walk Calgary. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Happy to be here.
Yeah, thanks. So, tell us a little bit about the World Partnership Walk. I mean, obviously you're the chair in Calgary. There's a bunch of people that just came out a couple of weeks ago, but tell us a little bit about what the event is and really what we're trying to do raising funds.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as you mentioned, the walk just took place June 1st at Princess Island Park, and it was great. It's year number 41, so it's been going on for a long, long time. Within the time, we've raised over $145 million for AKFC, which is to help cure global poverty. And what we can do as a community, how do we actually raise the money and give it to the right people in the right countries? Everything from Pakistan to Tanzania to Tajikistan, doesn't matter where we need to be, where we need to do. The funds are to really raise money for global poverty. And we get together as a group, as a community, not only just Smileys, but non-Smileys, to see what we can do. And the walk is just a culmination of everyone's hard work and companies like Trek Dental that have been kind supporters for several years to donate to a cause like this. And the walk is when we bring everyone together, celebrate what we've been able to raise, and then show the people what we actually do with the money. The key here, Jan, is people always ask us, we raise all this funds, where's it going?
Yeah, and that was going to be my next question. Is it so? We're talking about Africa and Asia mostly, right?
Absolutely.
So the money's in Africa and Asia. What does this money do once it gets out there?
Yeah, and that's the common question. People say, we've given you all this money, we've raised all this money, and we've donated all these funds. Where are they going? It's $2.50 a day is all we need is a cup of coffee. I just spent that this morning on a Canadian-made coffee. And that's what it takes to help us in those countries. So we're helping build schools. We have a lady that's a really good example. Her last name is Ismail. She's from Tajikistan, and she's a woman that wanted to be a doctor but couldn't do it. So we've funded her, and she's now built and helping build hospitals, helping raise babies, and now mentoring other doctors and other nurses and other women to really have sustainability in those countries. And that's where the money is going, is to build schools, build hospitals, help women, especially women, succeed in a country that is really does not have the infrastructure to do that. And that's what we're trying to do, is really help them become something and someone to make the second generation of their world get better and better.
Yeah, so I was reading a little bit about that. So focuses a lot on education, healthcare, and women's health as well, which
Absolutely.
I think doesn't always get the same amount of focus, in developing countries, let's say, than maybe in the Western world. So as this money is raised, it goes through the Aga Khan Foundation Canada and then is dispersed to these countries. And do they have people locally out there that are already on the ground, or is it given to other organizations to work with?
Yeah, it's a bit of a hybrid, right? So we do have people on the ground. So AKFC, obviously Aga Khan Foundation Canada, has a group of people across the country, across the world.
Yeah.
And then they work with other foundations to see where's the money needed and what do we want to do with it. Obviously, the Aga Khan himself has his own vision, and previous and current regime have their own vision, and we're trying to make sure that we fulfill those visions that they have in place. So really, it's working with other institutions globally to determine where the money needs to go, working with governments. It's just not other institutions. We have great relationships with governments globally that we can say, okay, here's what we want to do. How can we work together? Because the money that we raise, they will match. A lot of these governments and a lot of these institutions will raise and will match the money that we've put in place, because they want to see that there's someone actually that cares and that they're willing to invest in it, knowing that there's a institution like AKFC. If we have some credibility behind something like that, and AKFC has done that, they've built credibility, governments and other institutions will jump on board to help us with that.
Yeah, and that's fantastic. And I know the Canadian government has also helped in the past and continues to help make these things even better and raise more funds or match funds or something along those lines for that future that's out there. So let's bring it back to Calgary. So how did things go in Calgary this year? How was the walk? I mean, I know I was able to attend. A number of our people were. It was a beautiful day out there. How did Calgary do as a city?
Yeah, thanks. Calgary did great. So there's 4 walks that happen at the exact same time across the country on June 1st: Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver, Toronto. Calgary had over 5,000 people. Our target was just over $1 million. We're getting very, very close to. We're still in the fundraising stage. We have till June 30th. The weather was great. We had great entertainment. The mayor was there and presented to the group. And it literally it was the second walk we've had since the pandemic, a second physical actual walk. And to get the people back together was really what got people excited. Having our kids, Jan, you and I grew up to the walk. I remember going when I was 14, 15, 16 years old. I get goosebumps talking about it because it's something that our parents were so passionate and proud about. And now to be able to lead the walk like you have in previous years, it just really kind of goes full circle of generations of what this can really do. And what we keep talking about right now, Jan, is how do we make the next 40 years even better than the last 40 years? The blueprints are there, everything's been done. But what do we need to do to evolve it now, right? How do we take it to the next level? And the walk this year was year 41, so it's the first year of the next 40, and we're really trying to get more non-Ismailis involved, and that's the mandate for 41 and beyond. And we did that this year. We had a lot of non-Ismailis donate, a lot of companies that never had been part of the walk before be part of it, and it's really now starting to evolve into more of a global initiative, not just an Ismaili initiative, which is what we're trying to get at.
So Calgary raised almost $1 million this year.
Yeah.
And that's fantastic. I mean, what I know and what I love about Calgary is I think that we've got a lot of generous people in the city.
We do.
That want to make this world a better place, both, locally and internationally. And I know I've had a lot of people ask, why are we giving money overseas when there's so many problems here? And I think that we need to look at this world as connected, and that we need to help people here. So absolutely there needs to be stuff done locally here in Calgary, but there also needs to be stuff done internationally, so that we can create a better world for the next generation.
Yeah, and you hit it on the nail. Like when I was approaching some of these big energy companies here in Calgary, saying we have our own poverty in our own city. We rather go donate to the drop-in center or the mustard seed. And like absolutely, we definitely need to keep care of our backyard. But you said it right. Like we need to look at this world as one, right? And every company, including this energy company, they do business across the world, across the country, not just in Calgary or Edmonton or up north to in the oil sands. It's globally that they're doing business in. So we need to make sure that we're protecting the global, and we're all human at the end of the day. We're fortunate enough that our parents moved to Canada, or that we were born here, or our children are born in Canada. Some of these people they didn't have a choice, that they were born in Afghanistan or Tajikistan. So we want to make sure that they don't feel like they're not being loved and cared about. So what we did in Calgary was amazing. What we've done in Canada is amazing. Now we just need to get that broader and make sure those funds are being used in the right spot.
Yeah.
And educating the people where that's going, because that's the most important part, as you know.
Yeah, and that's fantastic. And it's like you mentioned, it's generational, right? I mean, in the early 90s, my dad was the chair of the walk.
Oh, yeah.
6 years ago, I was the chair of the walk for a couple of years. And I've got a great story. My son, so my first walk being the chair was June 16th, 2019. And so that happened to be Father's Day that year. That happened to be my wife's birthday that year. And it also happened to be the day my son took his first steps, was at the World Partnership Walk. Yeah. So a lot of good memories going back to just how we can make this world a better place, really, ultimately, which is what our goal is. So anything that you want to leave the audience with just about the walk, or, just how we can, continue to improve things around the world?
Yeah, it's, that's a loaded question, right? There's a lot we can do, not only when it comes to the walk, with AKFC, but this is an ongoing initiative. This, like I said, this year 41. We're already talking about next year. What can we do different for next year, and how can we actually make a bigger impact next year? What it's going to take is going to take education and awareness. So don't be shocked throughout the year between now and next year to hear a lot more about what AKFC is doing, what we're doing in Calgary for the walk, how we're going to evolve it. We're definitely, as we evolved even in the social media content, we're going to explain what we're doing and why we're doing it. So keep an eye out for all that information. We're doing a good thing here for a good reason. It just takes a lot of awareness and a lot of education to explain what we're doing. So thanks for the opportunity to do this. This is great. I hope I filled your dad's shoes and your shoes well, because you guys have really left a mark for us to take forward to the next level. And I'm shocked. I'd be honored if some of our kids one day are what we are, doing what we are today, and being chairs and doing stuff like this, because that would be full circle. It'd be mind blowing to me. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming out.
Appreciate
it.
Yeah.